I don't know where Sting's head's at, brother.
Now that's a Halloween of doom. Hey there, sports fan. My name is Kit, and this is Now That's What I Call Wrestling, the good, bad wrestling show. And we are smack dab in the middle of the spookiest and ookiest season of all as we celebrate Halloween the only way we know how, with the creepiest and weepiest and drippiest wrestling we can find. This is our continuation of the most terrifying faction in the history of professional wrestling, sports entertainment, or the world. That is, of course, WCW's The Dungeon of Doom. And you don't have to stop watching right now, because if you need caught up on last time, I'm going to tell you right now. Last time on Now That's What I Call Wrestling. That is literally all you need to know. Let's go. All right, so I lied. You kind of need to know a little more. Kevin Sullivan ran to the woods in his underwear to meet his father, who seems to be made of rocks. Hulk Hogan was then teleported to that same cave via a statue that Kevin Sullivan built in art class. Then Kamala showed up, and the Shark showed up, and something called the Zodiac showed up.
Darkness that has betrayed light.
A bunch of other guys showed up, even a guy wrapped in toilet paper. Then the Giant burst through the wall and choked Hulk Hogan, spat on the camera, and then Hulk Hogan realized that he needs the help of one Macho Man Randall Savage.
Ooh, maybe.
But Hulk Hogan also knows that the red and yellow little fancy boy is not going to get it done. He needs to find the darker side of Hulk Hogan. Which is odd, because to me, the dark side of Hulk Hogan is like, I don't know, the last 15 years. All right, sports fan, I think we were a little early and the Hulkster wasn't ready for us. He's still taking care of a little wrestler business.
No, something.
Is Hulk Hogan rehearsing for a play down at the Blandford Recreational Center?
Randy and I are practicing for a play at the...
Hulk Hogan looks like one of those things at Spirit Halloween where you can press the button and it'll scare you.
Brother.
I never noticed until he put his mask on, but Hulk Hogan has those at-ya for ya eyes where, like, one of them's looking at you and one of them's looking for you.
What the hell are you doing in the bathroom day and night?
My favorite part of this promo, though, is when the chandelier falls in the beginning. Then we find out that Hulk Hogan is actually mad because the Dungeon of Doom did that trick where, like, you put a bunch of pencil around a quarter and tell someone to rub it on their face. Hulk Hogan then excitedly makes his girlfriend hear all about the sweet sword he bought at the flea market.
I feel a strange presence.
Say it, don't spray it, Hulkster. My man looks like the Dread Pirate Slobbers.
Life is pain.
Brother, I don't know where Sting's head's at.
So then Hulk Hogan says that he's not sure if Sting is on the light side or the dark side of Hulkamania, but I'm not sure which one is supposed to be the good one at this point, because he's established that he's Hulk Hogan Dark, which is a block of late night Showtime television you should not tune into. So, like, if Sting's on the light side, does that mean he's now against Hulk Hogan because Hulk Hogan's now on the dark side? Or if Sting's on the dark side, does that mean that he's now on the same side as Hulk Hogan? Or is Hulk Hogan always on the light side, just right now he's making a dalliance, he's dipping a toe into the dark side? Whose side is it anyway?
Yeah, but whose side is he on? I'm gonna look at Sting somewhere in the eye.
I don't want to look you right in the eye, dude. I want to look you, like, not with the black part, dude, where, like, you see, brother. I want to look down and maybe the white part, Jack. Yeah, leave it to Hogan to only want to look at the white part.
Moose fast, move swift.
Well, whatever Hulk Hogan has, it must be sexually transmitted, because now Macho Man has it.
Where were you, Sting?
I'm not Randy. I'm not Mr. Lee.
Hulk Hogan then threatens to pull Sting's dog out from under the bed.
I called the first little dog out from under the bed, brother.
Hulk Hogan then exclaims that it's not a phase, Dad, and he's a permanent member of the Black Parade. Macho Man then tells Hulk Hogan to go steal a brain.
I be someone.
Stinger, think before you step.
Because the dog under the bed shit on the floor, brother. So Hulk Hogan and Macho Man are on a mission. I can only assume that mission is going to take a brief stop at Hot Topic. So then the mustacheless Hulk Hogan takes the Macho Man down to the Venice Beach Boardwalk, where Toad from Super Mario Brothers is playing an electric guitar. That is the face of every woman whose boyfriend ever played guitar at them. These two do look like they're going to sell you bootleg pre-workout. And the Mega Powers really say a whole lot of nothing while disappointed onlookers are really representing the rest of us. I mean, this guy is all of us. Worth noting that in between our two heroes here is a person living off of the street. He kind of mumbles things that are incoherent while Macho Man and Hulk Hogan yell things that are incoherent. It's really a sad scene, not for our boys in black here, but for everybody who was made to apparently stand there. everyone who was promised a popsicle if they stood there long enough, and this poor guy who they're clearly just using as what they probably think is a funny prop in between them.
Do you find out who's friend and foe in the life, brother?
Again.
Cousin, I don't think we're gonna figure any of this out. Then shortly after this, Hulk Hogan's mom finally broke up with her boyfriend Gary. Hulk Hogan decided that the phase was over and he was going for no reason whatsoever to go back to his brightly colored red and yellow panties this time. Now, finally, Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage are going to destroy the Dungeon of Doom.
But wait! There's more!
So Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage are fighting the Four Horsemen, and then the Zodiac is no longer the Zodiac. He has now washed the makeup off of his face, cut the ass out of his pants, and he's now the Booty Man. The Booty Man. The Booty Man.
Oh, shit. Here come Debo. Oh my gosh!
Debo is here. He is now known as Z GANGSTA. He is dancing his titties and counting fitties. But there's another guy behind him who's even bigger. And if you thought that was Bane from the mid-90s Batman and Robin movie, that'd be a weird thing to think. Not because it wasn't him, because it was, but that's just a weird thing to think. The announcers tell us that his name is, of course, the Ultimate Solution.
The entire earth, there's only one country that frightens me, and it's the country of Germany. I don't know if you guys are students of history or not, but...
They did write Z Gangsta's name on his head in case he gets lost.
Hogan! What is that?
Whose idea was this?
And then Hulk Hogan retreats to the back like a coward, literally crying because now the Dungeon of Doom and the Four Horsemen want Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage in the Doomsday Cage of Doomsday Cage. The Doomsday Cage does look impressive, but they call it the Doomsday Cage not because it's especially dangerous, but because when you watch this, you will wish that the world would end. So let's press play. The Doomsday Cage is so special. It's so important. It's so significant that they didn't put it just in the middle of the arena. They put it over to the side so that nobody has a good seat. So both sides will be locked in basically what is a triple cage with 2 fire escapes on the side, or as I call it, my first marriage. Right, guys? Right, girls? Right? Hey! Arn Anderson comes out dressed like he was hoping to work from home today. So basically the concept is this. The bad guys are scattered throughout the cage, and then Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage have to climb up the fire escape and get to the top and then fight down. And it's never really explained if they have to pin somebody, if they have to run away. It's kind of implied that they have to run away, just like it's kind of implied that we should probably have run away. Everybody's stepping very, very gingerly on that top level of the cage, like they're afraid they're going to fall through, which I will say would be the best case scenario for this match. So after everyone kind of walks around and touches each other for about 10 minutes, that doesn't feel a moment under a lifetime, Hulk Hogan finally reaches into his trunks and pulls out some Gold Bond and throws it at everyone, which doesn't affect the action very much, but does make everyone a little less itchy. So apparently you don't have to pin or submit or beat your opponent to advance downward to the next level of the cage. You just have to powder them to their level of satisfaction, and they will politely allow you passage.
Oh! I can just run!
When somebody gets a new label maker and they're just using any excuse to put them everywhere. And if you thought the second level of the cage was going to be any more or less exciting than the first level of the cage, you'd be wrong or right, or I don't know. I kind of forgot what I was saying because it's just mind-numbingly the same. Everyone shuffles around, more grunting. It basically looks and sounds like a senior-centered dance inside of a dog kennel. So Ming and Barbarian didn't finish all their dinner, so Hulk Hogan decided to lock them into their room so he can finally have a little alone time with mommy. And just as the door locks, Arn Anderson and Ric Flair realized they could have just climbed down after Hulk Hogan this whole time. Then Hulk Hogan and Kevin Sullivan kind of like grab each other for a while everyone just touches the door. For some odd reason, Kevin Sullivan thinks that this match is worth risking his actual life for and hangs off of like the 30-foot high scaffold. Hulk Hogan does it too, but not quite as committed.
Grab his dick and twist it!
Hulk Hogan then escapes the cage, but somehow doesn't win. And then just for funsies, they fight over to the regular ring for a second. Because nothing matters anymore, brother, and we already got their money, dude. I imagine buying this pay-per-view at the time for probably like $20 or $30 would be the equivalent of purchasing a live video feed of your local mall at like 8 a.m. on a weekday. It's just old guys kind of walking. But of course, the Ultimate Solution and GANGSTA finally wake up from their golden corral nap. One thing I can say about them, though, is that they seem to be the only ones that truly appreciate the financial irresponsibility of WCW and drag everyone back to the big expensive cage. So now we have all four guys back into the ring, in the cage, and in this ring, we have two people who were in Batman movies, one person who was in a Spider-Man movie, and one guy who was on Walker, Texas Ranger one time. And if you thought the match was wild before, just wait till you see these guys walk around in this area now. The Four Horsemen then finally come back from their state-mandated 15-minute break, just as the Macho Man spills powdered sugar all over the mat. And then formerly known as Brutus the Barber Beefcake, formerly known as Zodiac, and now known as the Booty Man. And yes, again, I swear to you, this is real. Booty Man brings out a couple of sets of frying pans and hands them to Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage. And then we enter into the most dangerous part of the Doomsday Cage match, which is the Three Stooges phase.
Cider. Oh! Yeah. Oh!
But the bad guys prove to be too much, and Hulk Hogan and Macho Man are back on the ropes again. And just when you thought you saw everything, the total package Lex Luger comes in with O.J. Simpson's leather glove. And I'm wondering if it's too late for me to pretend like I've never heard of wrestling. And of course, oh my God. Like, this match is a disaster on top of a disaster. So, Lex Luger, oh God. Lex Luger is supposed to try to hit the Macho Man, and of course, the Macho Man is supposed to duck, and Luger is supposed to accidentally hit Ric Flair, but Lex Luger very clearly forgets that's what's supposed to happen, seems very confused when Macho Man ducks, stops, then grabs Ric Flair and does the punch anyway. So Lex Luger accidentally forgot to do the accidental punch on purpose, but then purposely did the accidental punch by accident, purposely after the fact on purpose. Right?
Back and to the left. Back and to the left.
So then with Ric Flair knocked out and everyone else seemingly completely out of breath, our heroes decide that this is a good time to leave. But then remember that someone has to pin someone. Macho Man runs back in, makes a quick pin on Ric Flair, and then Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage actually run out of the arena, as if one of them had been distracting the cashier the whole time while the other loaded a bunch of Monster Energy drinks into his spandex panties. Now, I know you're probably thinking that this whole thing was just a giant waste of money, time, electricity, videotape, various medicated powders. But that's what I call wrestling.